Oh, 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 Ducavril. I make my living off the evening news. Just give me something I can use. People love it when you lose. They love dirty laundry. What, what? Well, I could have been an actor, but I wound up here. I just have to look good. I don't have to be clear. Come and whisper in my ear. Give us dirty laundry. Do. What? All right. You're in the office with Joseph Skoda. And that song is by Don Henley. Dirty Laundry. Look behind me. Does that look like anyone's household that you know of? More often than not, it could be my own household because we do have dirty clothes laying around, sometimes on the floor, in the kitchen, in the bathroom. Sometimes it doesn't quite get to where we want it to get. Now, that song Dirty Laundry has nothing at all to do with what's behind. Dirty laundry, it's common in every household, but so's the other dirty laundry. You know what I mean? There are some things that we don't need to share in public. And this is one of them, of course. There are opinions, there are facts, there are pseudo, we don't even know the answer to ideals and situations that happen to each and every one of us that doesn't need to go out into the public. Now, we hear all the time politicians, for instance, leaders, and once you reach the highest level, someone's always throwing trash at you. Well, I remember back in 1920 that you ran over the dog. Oh, I remember you cheated on your spouse. Oh my goodness, that law exam, that wasn't you. Someone else did your homework for you. We all have something to do with some of those pseudo facts. We all know people that maybe got ahead of the game and not being quite honest or the integrity wasn't 100% there. Regardless, every one of us has something we hide in our closet, you can say. It should be the laundry, but we all have things we don't want to talk about. We sweep underneath the carpet. We don't want to let the world to know. For instance, I did a 21-year career in the Air Force, and I could have had a longer career, but I got a little bit of trouble. I'm not going to tell you what happened or what happened to me, but I was kind of told it's time to retire. That's all right. I made it that far. I was able to earn a retirement and earn an education above and beyond even my military career. Every one of us has something we don't want to talk about. And we know people that got promoted ahead of us. We know people that come up the ranks from nowhere and all of a sudden, who are you? And they're in charge. And we know people we grew up with, and we're looking like, how did they hire you? You don't know anything, or how did you get this job or position? You're a coach. You can't even hold a football. You're a coach. We all know people like that, and you and I have our own story that we don't want to share or tell. I read this little article earlier. It wasn't too long ago. A real short snippet. A little girl just sharing with the world. It's like my parents told me never to wash my dirty laundry in public. That's why anything personal I have to say, I only share it with my family. Isn't that huge? Doesn't that bring a new perspective to the way we're looking at things? Like, your family's pretty smart to let you know ahead of time not to share your dirty laundry, not to gossip, not to start stories that can hurt someone's reputation. That's what dirty laundry is. It's gossip, whether it's true or not. It's talking about someone behind their back or even in front of them. It's starting some trouble, dissent, something to be angry about. It's almost like a road rage in a way. Now, I paid my dues to work in different leadership positions, and I'm in leadership right now. I'm not going to tell you what it is because you might find some dirty laundry on me. But I ever wanted to go higher in different positions. somebody's going to dig up my past. So, regardless of how squeaky clean you think you are, like the Martha Stewarts we know out there, but more often than not, there's something that they're not wanting to share. There's something they've done, there's something they've experienced, something they said that they wish they didn't, or they wish they didn't get caught, if nothing else. We all got that something, something. So why do we want to go and talk about people? And that's what the song has to do with Don Henley. Let me share a little bit more. I make my living off the evening news. Just give me something, something I can use. People love it when you lose. They love dirt and laundry. Wop. So that obviously has to do with someone telling the news on TV. Not necessarily 60 Minutes, but the news. All we hear is negative. This person did horrible. That's a horrible leader. They wasted our money. They wasted our time, so forth and so on. And with the current government we have, there's a lot of dirty laundry out there. What's different from this government than the rest is they do it right in front of you, and no one seems to care how corrupt they are. Anyways, they're just saying, make the living off the evening news. Just give me something I can use. And they're not asking for the garden show. They're not asking for kids getting straight A's in school. They're not asking for the local hero coming back from the military war. They want to know about what that person coming back from the military war what they did wrong and screw up. They want to hear about how maybe their marriage fell apart, right? They don't want to hear about the kid making straight A's. They want to hear about a parent that's drunk, right? And those kind of things is what makes news. For instance, I live outside an airport in California, and it's a small airport. I like small airports. Unfortunately, they don't fly to too many places. But this particular weekend, we have an air show, an air show. And I love air shows. Like I said, I spent a lot of time in the military, in the Air Force, and I used to work on airplanes. In fact, I'm a licensed FAA airframe and power plant person, licensed mechanic, and pretty exciting because I like to watch planes take off. Because I remember what I had to put into turning wrenches and fuel in and change the windscreens, the landing gear, and what I a little bit I had to do to ensure that the airplane was airworthy. And I love watching planes take off. But what I hear about, well, this pilot, well, he messed around their wife, or they've been married 6 times, or that mechanic, he cut his arm off in accident. We hear more of those kind of stories rather than, wow, look at the show they put on. Wow, look at all the training they had to do to go out there and entertain us. And the other part of the song is like, well, it could have been an actor, but I wound up here. I just have to look good. I don't have to be clear. Come and whisper in my ear. Give me dirty laundry. You understand? All you have to do is look good. Look good, have a good story to tell. It doesn't have to be true. It has to be a good story to tell. You don't have to be clear. You can mumble it, but you put a little doubt in someone's mind and like, oh, tell me more, right? And a lot of the chorus, it goes like this: kick them when they're up, kick them when they're down, kick them when they're up, kick them all around. It's interesting because we keep kicking, we keep nudging, we keep causing more disarray in someone's life, and that ends up becoming newsworthy. That ends up being what people want to hear. You kick them even when they're on top. You kick them even when they're down, and you make the situation even worse. And we do those things sometimes, and we really can ruin lives. And the other part, and one of the other verses is, we got the bubble-headed bleach blonde comes on at 5. She can tell you about the plane crash with the gleam in her eye. It's interesting when people die. Give us dirty laundry. It's a great song. But that's sad. They don't want to hear the drama. They want to hear someone dying. They want to hear about the crashes and lives falling apart. And that's what most people, at least most Americans, want to hear. Why do we want to hear about the dirty laundry and the bad things going on in people's life rather than the good things? Now, I've had my own issues, my own problems in life, as well as everyone I know, and I'm not going to talk about them. What for? Is it going to make me look better if I talk about my competitor or my competition and whatever I'm involved in? And maybe for a short time, but no, it's not going to help me look good in the long run. In the short run, it's easy to point fingers, and that looks good on TV. Oh yeah, well, I remember your grandma used to send you to bed without food or whatever it is. These are just paraphrases, but it's true in some people's lives. I know people as kids, when I was a kid, that their parents or step parents used to beat them, used to abuse them. And some went off and did some wonderful and great things, and others did okay, but they made amends with the family member or parent that was causing the abuse. Now it's hard because when I witness some of those things, I have a chip on my shoulder. I get bitter. I'm never gonna like that person ever again. I'm not gonna talk to them ever again, and I don't want you anywhere near my life. But when someone you know and care about, something like that happened to them and where they were abused, and they forgave that person who was the abuser, and I don't know if they, anyways, they forgave them. So it become when you forgive someone, you don't forget, but you have to move on. You have to make amends somewhat. You have to develop some. You don't have to, but you should develop some kind of relationship that works for everyone in between. When I know someone being abused or hurt, it bothers me. And if I see that person who's an abuser go up for public office or say what a great parent they are, this is how you should parent your kids, or whatever it may be, it's really hard for me to get past what I know. The problem is a lot of things I know, it may be true, but it could be 20, 30, 40 years ago. And people change over time. And for instance, I know someone, her husband cheated on her, right? Her husband cheated on her. And it was sad, and she was working, and it seemed like, everyone knows but the spouse, right? So all the people that gossip behind her back, does she know that her husband's doing this? Does she know that her husband's gone again? And when she finally did find out, and of course everyone expects a big divorce and this fighting back and forth and more things to talk about at work. Well, over time, she forgave her husband, and they, rekindled their relationship. And I think it's stronger now than ever before. But people or her coworkers, past coworkers, still would talk behind her back. Oh my God, I can't believe she took him back. Oh, I can't believe that this is happening and they're going out in public. Do you know that's none of our business? If somebody can overcome infidelities or abuse and become stronger than ever before and learn to forgive like Jesus learned to forgive us for our sins and our indiscretions, why do we need to badmouth people who are overcoming, who are bigger people than maybe you and I are? We all know people have gone through these kinds of things, and some just want to behave, hold their heads up high through life, say, "Yeah, that was a sucky time in my life, but time to turn the page, time to start a new chapter, time to move on." We can't change our past. We can't change people who did us wrong. We can't change ideas we had back then when we were knuckleheads. I use that term a lot, a knucklehead, because I was a knucklehead. I made a lot of mistakes. I not always listened to both sides of the story. I often came out with my own opinions, and I become very opinionated, as most of you are too. But it's okay to sit back and listen. Doesn't mean we have to change our minds about people or things, but just to go out and listen. Like, okay, I understand how you can forgive them. I can, but good on you. But you and I need to stop spreading that dirty laundry, that gossip. And how do we stop it? We have to stop listening to it. When someone says, Sally down the street and her kids and they don't get along, you and I need to just walk away and say, I don't want to hear that. Tell me something good. Uh, tell me to get the lottery tomorrow. Tell me my kids are going to grow up to be successful. Tell me I'm going to have a happy, long life with a strong spouse on my side. Tell me those kind of things. Don't tell me the negative of others. We all have that. And here's something I've learned. If someone's coming to you and talking to you behind someone else's back and gossiping, more often than not, they're doing it to you also. When they're going to that person or someone else and talking about you, what's going to stop them? If they start this gossip trail and someone's engaged, like, wow, I can't believe it, tell me more. They're going to keep finding other stories about other people and continue that. It's up to you and I to stop talking about it and stop listening to it. We got to walk away. We have our own dirty laundry. Remember little girls? He says, her parents said, don't wash your dirty laundry in public. Therefore, when I have something personal that's bothering me, I want to talk about, I'm only going to share with someone close to me, with the family friend. I'm not going to tell the world about dirty laundry. Unfortunately, on social media, we see it all the time. People talk about their employer, their coworkers, their teacher, their parents, their spouse over and over again on Facebook and Instagram and other places. Are you kidding? What are you going to accomplish with that? Tell everyone, yeah, yeah, good for you. You're doing this. You're embarrassing yourself. And I hear this a lot where someone would cuss out their spouse or significant other, and a couple weeks later, a couple months later, or a couple years later, they take them back, and someone will say, "Hold it, you told them the worst SOBs ever. Why'd you take them back?" Well, they're really not that bad. Once you put something out there, it's out there. Someone's heard it, someone's seen it, someone experienced what you had to say, someone saved, especially if you're doing videos, someone saved that somewhere. If you're writing a text or a chat box or updating your profile, people will see that and remember that. And I remember saying a lot, don't burn any bridges. Burning any bridges, like, getting pissed off, say, up yours, I'm out of here. Don't ever call me again. And we don't want to do that because there is good in people. We all run into this area of our lives where things aren't quite working out, and we have a tendency to point fingers and start that blame game. We don't need to blame anyone for our problems. It's up to you and I if we want to wake up happy. Yeah, what happens throughout the day can be a little stressful, but we can still choose to go to bed happy. Say, yeah, today sucked, but tomorrow's going to be a better day. And God will, and please guide and lead me. So we have a God. He's just asking us to reach out to Him and say, "Here, Lord, you know what I'm going through. Please help me. Please guide me, and please forgive me because I know I'm thinking some bad thoughts. I want to do some bad things. Please forgive me, God, and help me not to think that way or feel that way." Anyways, we're just here talking about the different kinds of dirty laundry, and it mostly has to do with gossip like we talked about. And it's real scary. I mean, dirty laundry could just be a small basket, a big basket, whatever it is. But keep that stuff private. Put it in the closet, stick it underneath the carpet. Don't share with anyone who doesn't need to know. It's a crazy world we live in. I just want to tell you, one more time. Dirty little secrets, dirty little lies. We got a dirty little fingers in everybody's pie. We love to cut you down to size. We love dirty laundry. Do, 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 do. Well, I'm not going to sing the whole song, but kick them under up. Kick when they're up down, kick when they're up, kick them all around. It's a great song, but it just shows how insensitive that we have become in our society, where we want to see people struggle. We want to see people suffer instead of good that each and every one of us has. Anyways, keep in your mind, we hear that song by Don Henley, Dirty Laundry, and keep in your mind it all talks about gossip, which sells. Sex, drugs, and rock and roll sells. The good stories about the gardening, the kids getting good grades, hometown hero, rescuing people in a wartime zone, whatever it may be, rarely makes the news. I encourage you to make the difference and make sure that the vibes, positive messages, things that really matter is what you listen to and what you share. Anyways, you're in the office with Joseph Skoda. I encourage you to have a great day because it's up to you and I how the day ends, how our life goes. Put God first. Amen. And God bless you and have a great day in the office once again with Joseph Stephen Skoda III. Bye now. If you liked our show, please subscribe to our YouTube channel or find us on any social media platform, Instagram, of course, Facebook. Like, subscribe, share. We appreciate it. Let us know your thoughts and join our team. Anyways, we appreciate you staying tuned week after week, day after day, because we continuously build up our network to bring to you what you're asking for. Have a great day.